The real reason behind the Isaac Howard trade has been revealed as the Oilers and the Tampa Bay Lightning struck a deal last night. Nick broke it down on the channel, but the real reason has been revealed as the Oilers trying to simultaneously get younger and faster while also realizing they are still in a win now mode for the Stanley Cup. All that more today on Oilers Digest as we get into some more of the reasons behind why this trade happened. But we just hit 3,800 subscribers on the road to 4,000. Yes, closing in on that 4,000 mark. If you haven't done so already, folks, make sure you hit that button down below for any and all Oiler news. As Stan Bowman and the rest of the Oiler management still making things very, very interesting for us. As you know, it's almost the middle of July, and yes, things are still happening, which we are very, very grateful for. But let's get right into it, shall we? One-way ticket to oil country for Isaac Howard. Yes, we all broke it down, or Nick broke it down on the channel last night. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go back and watch it if you haven't seen so already. The Oilers making a deal for Isaac Howard. Yes, we broke that down on the channel a few weeks ago, trying to realize, the Oilers going for a Hobey Baker winner in the NCAA, and the Oilers, throwing so many offers at Julien Brisebois in the Tampa Bay management group, but, nothing coming to fruition until last night when they traded Isaac Howard from the Tampa Bay Lightning for forward Sam O'Reilly. They also signed Isaac Howard to a 3-year entry-level contract. You can see their entry-level contracts are crucial for cup contending teams. There, as you can see, the Oilers at $225,000 in cap space, so back against the wall there, and it was a really good trade in my opinion for the Oilers. Not giving up a whole lot. I mean, Sam O'Reilly was the second best prospect there, but that just they pretty much swapped Sam O'Reilly for Isaac Howard, and Isaac Howard is now the Oilers' second best prospect there. Didn't even give up any picks there too. They still have the 2027 and 2028 first round picks. A goalie trade. It could always happen, folks. But from Frank Saravalli here, the reason why the Oilers went for a guy like Isaac Howard instead of waiting on Sam O'Reilly to ripen in the Oilers organization, or the depth chart, I should say. The Oilers believe Isaac Howard is ready to enter the NHL immediately, signed out of the Michigan State Spartans, and to be in Edmonton's opening night lineup. A very fascinating trade, depending on who you trust. Some scouts think O'Reilly is the better long-term prospect. Howard is NHL ready now for the Oilers in a win-now mode. They can't just sit around and wait for prospects to develop. Even though, Sam O'Reilly put in up pretty good numbers in the OHL, they went for someone who is, again, ready to go right now to go into the Oilers opening night lineup. You can see there the comparison between Isaac Howard and Sam O'Reilly, which is very interesting to note. They both have March 30th birthdays there. I mean, what are the odds? We can see there Isaac Howard in the chances of being an NHL, the probabilities there closer to the middle of the screen compared to, Sam O'Reilly. So the chart here, not a big fan of Sam O'Reilly. Meanwhile, Isaac Howard being compared to a guy like Logan Couture, which I wouldn't mind having a guy like Logan Couture on this team, or Logan Couture light, I should say. So again, a very good trade for the Oilers, realizing again they're in a win now mode, and again they cannot sit around and wait for these prospects to develop. There, I know the Oilers have one of the worst prospect pools in the NHL, if not the worst, but still, your goal is to get McDavid and Draisaitl a Stanley Cup. There, just taking a look at the stats here for Isaac Howard. His first college season with the University of Minnesota Duluth, pretty lackluster there. I mean, 17 points in 35 games, but he went to the Michigan State Spartans there in the Big Ten, coached by the same coach with the U.S. National Development Team. So, that familiarity, made Isaac Howard a much better player in his second and third years there. You can see 52 points in 37 games with the Spartans in his final college season there, winning a gold medal with the Americans there at the 2024 World Juniors in Sweden. And again, picking up a Hobey Baker with the Spartans in his last year. I mean, it's a who's who of, winners of the Hobey Baker over the last couple of seasons. I mean, Cale Makar won it, Jack Eichel won it, Johnny Gaudreau won the Hobey Baker too. So, I mean, some pretty good company to be amongst with that award there. And just taking a look at his analytics here, taking a deep dive. I mean, it hasn't updated the logo from the Tampa Bay Lightning to the Edmonton Oilers, but I mean, some of these underlying numbers, I'm a fan of this player. Watching his highlights, not the biggest player, but he's willing to get into the corners there with his strength there. And I mean, what a shot! The kid is fantastic. In the slot there, in the lower part of the ice, nearest the goalie. I mean, inside the crease and in the slot, the guy is an animal, and he's very excited to join Edmonton. Says, I'm super psyched. It's such an unreal opportunity. I'm grateful Tampa Bay was able to get this done. I can't wait to get started. Definitely such a cool place. Couldn't be happier. I met with Edmonton, and this was probably the spot I wanted to go. This checks all my boxes. I knew somehow if it could happen, I would absolutely love it. I mean, Edmonton, not just, with McDavid and Draisaitl making this team a destination. I mean, from what we've seen, behind the scenes with the Oilers organization, just the way they treat their players. I mean, it's a world-class situation they have going on in Edmonton there, and that makes, players love to play you. I mean, the first time Trent Frederic walked into the Oilers dressing room, he's blown away. And anytime, a new member of the team and sees the facilities that the Oilers have in Rogers Place there, just blown away by it, and that just makes Edmonton one of the premier organizations to come to in the NHL. There was a time where Edmonton, was on pretty much everybody's no trade list there. Who would want to go to Edmonton, right? But now it's like, who doesn't want to come to Edmonton? We all saw the free agents last year, even though it didn't pan out. I mean, it's just nice to see Edmonton be a destination there. And he said he watched every Oiler playoff game during their run to the Stanley Cup final the past 2 years. He's savoring the chance to play with Connor McDavid in Leon Draisaitl adding on. I think that's an unreal opportunity. I don't think you can get any better than that. Those are two of the best players in the world. Could be the two best. It's pretty incredible. I can't wait to share these with those guys and pick their brain there. And as I mentioned, the scouting reports on Isaac Howard, a bunch of these, evaluators when it comes to prospects, loving the way Howard plays. Scott Wheeler of The Athletic and Corey Proman, both of The Athletic, saying, I'm a big believer in Howard, lethal in the home play area and has some of the better hands and instincts in the draft. He's always going to have power play utility, but he's also impactful enough offensively at 5-on-5 to warrant a top 6 projection, even if he doesn't have the premiums of size or position. And Corey Proman adding on, he's known as goal scorer, but he can make creative passes and make difficult plays in small areas. His goal scoring is more a product of his skill and willingness to attack the middle than an elite shot. And then the Red Line report saying he's one of the top 3 natural snipers in this year's draft. Lightning hands, no pun intended, in a tremendous release there. So glowing words regarding Isaac Howard too. So I mean, obviously we'll see him in the opening night lineup here from Bob Stauffer. I mean, Bob Stauffer has huge expectations for Isaac Howard, putting him right next to number 97 Connor McDavid and then Zach Hyman. Unknown on Zach Hyman's availability to start the season there. He mentioned, it'd be nice to start the season, but again, closer to when that date arrives, we will know more about what Zach Hyman's availability will be. And then Puck Holes and Draisaitl and Andrew Mangiapane, and then Trent Frederic, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and the prospect everyone's forgetting about, Matt Savoy. I mean, did we just forget he was a top 10 pick? I mean, I know Isaac Howard has, the shiny new toy, likeness on him, but I mean, you can't forget about a guy like Matt Savoy. I'd rather see him with Draisaitl than Andrew Mangiapane, and then throw Mangiapane down on the third line, make this team a lot deeper than what it possibly could be looking at this screen right now. And then a very expensive fourth line of Matisse Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Kasperi Kapanen, which all adds up to $5.75 million on that fourth line. I mean, yeesh, that is very expensive, with the extra forwards being Curtis Lazar in David Tomashek, with Ekholm Bouchard, Nurse Wallman in Kulak, in Ty Emberson, with Troy Stetcher being the extra defenseman there. And then the goalies, yes, we've said it time and time again, the Oilers need an upgrade, but the projected lineup includes Skinner in Pickard. But Stauffer, being a little bit cheeky at the bottom of the screen, says subject to change there. So Howard and Savoy, the Oilers getting younger and faster in this lineup. And as I mentioned, the Oilers will need those cheap contracts to go far, to really stretch their dollars when it comes to, building a team around McDavid in Draisaitl. McDavid eligible for an extension this summer, so who knows what would happen with that there. But again, a value contract for the Oilers in their top 6, with Howard making, 9.9, almost $1 million, I should say, $950,000 there. So again, very good value for the Edmonton Oilers. And the body's not even cold yet, folks, but Isaac Howard Howard will wear number 53 for the Oilers, last worn by Jeff Skinner there. So that all but confirms that Jeff Skinner will go elsewhere there. I think we all knew it from the start, but Isaac Howard taking that number so soon. I mean, man, it hasn't even been 2 weeks without Jeff Skinner, and here we are. But another little tidbit here from Tom Gazzola. You might hear a different name with, Jack Michaels and the commentary team for the Oilers, but Isaac Howard, in his introductory media availability with the Oilers, says he prefers to go by Ike instead of Isaac there. So, very interesting there. I mean, it's certainly a twist. You don't see too many Ikes these days, but Ike Howard, officially an Edmonton Oiler there, and I'm very excited to see what he can bring to the table with the Oilers. Again, a great trade by Stan Bowman there. He cooked on that trade there. Sad to see Sam O'Reilly go, but again, the Oilers getting somebody better and much more ready to go. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about Isaac Howard, or Ike Howard, I should say. I'm already getting it wrong here, folks. What do you think about Ike Howard and what he could bring to the table here for the Oilers this upcoming season? Where do you see him in the lineup? Do you see him right next to Connor McDavid? Do you see him, on the left side, closer, to the second or third line? I'm very interested to see what you all have to say regarding Ike. But that is it. Take care. Have a great rest of the day, folks. It's the middle of the week, but, Saturday's almost here. Take care. I'm Matt.